Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Whoa, Phaedra Parks talks about Kim Zolciak's return. Phaedra Parks is returning to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 16. Since her comeback has been announced, the RHOA star has continued to push for the return of another Bravo alum, Kim Zolciak. Could Kim come back to Real Housewives in the future? Here's what Phaedra has to say about the possibility. Kim Zolciak's return to RHOA would make things interesting. The RHOA star spoke with people about reclaiming her peach and returning to the Bravo reality show. Phaedra Parks said that she hopes Kim Zolciak comes back too. If Kim Zolciak comes back, I think that would be very interesting. Kim is TV gold. She's always been TV gold, the 50-year-old said. However, she knows that Kim is leading a busy life right now. Kim Zolciak is a mother of 6, 4 of which are still under the age of 13. She is also working her way through a rather messy divorce with her estranged husband Coy Bierman. On top of that, she has been doing press tours for MTV's The Surreal Life, Villa of Secrets, which she appeared in over the summer. Right now she's got a lot going on, Phaedra said about Kim. Who would have thought Kim, who went from 2 daughters, now has got a whole little basketball team of children. That said, she's still holding out hope that Kim will return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think everyone would love to see Kim come back, Phaedra Parks said. She's fun. I think it would add an element that the girls wouldn't be expecting. Phaedra Parks plans to bring the show back to its heyday. When it comes to Phaedra's return, she said that it has been a welcoming experience. The Married to Medicine star said that she has been waiting for the right time to come back to RHOA. When the moment arrived, she answered Bravo's call. Real Housewives fans will remember that Phaedra Parks first joined the Bravo show in season 3. She left in season 9, but fans were almost immediately clamoring to bring her back. Now, Phaedra says that she hopes she can bring the show back to its heyday. I will say this, it's going to be an amazing season, the RHOA star said. I mean, it will definitely be reminiscent to the Housewives you love originally. In addition to Phaedra Parks' return, Porsha Williams will also be coming back for season 16. She departed from the show before season 14 and Phaedra is thrilled to film with her friend again. We are the original Frick and Frack, she said of Porsha. Other cast members for season 16 include Angela Oakley, Brittany Eady, Drew Sidora, Kelly Farrell, and Shamia Morton-Mondi. Cynthia Bailey will also be returning as a friend on the show. Phaedra Parks, the Southern belle with a wit sharper than a designer stiletto, sat back in her plush Atlanta home, contemplating the whirlwind that was Kim Zolciak's return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was like a blast from the past, a time capsule of drama, friendships, and feuds suddenly bursting open. The idea of Kim, with her platinum blonde hair and larger-than-life personality, re-entering the RHOA scene felt like both a nostalgia trip and a ticking time bomb. Well, child, Phaedra began with that signature drawl that could make even the most mundane statement sound like a sermon. Kim's always been one for the theatrics, but I suppose that's why we love her, or at least why we can't look away. Phaedra and Kim had a history that was as complicated as any long-standing reality TV relationship. Their bond was forged in the fiery cauldron of Atlanta's high society, where reputations could be made or broken over a cup of tea, or, more likely, a spilled one. Back in the day, Kim was the outsider with a sugar daddy and a dream of becoming a pop star, while Phaedra was the no-nonsense attorney with a penchant for funerals and shade. The two were as different as night and day, yet somehow they had managed to coexist in the same orbit for years. Now, with Kim's return, Phaedra couldn't help but reflect on what this meant for the group, and for herself. Kim coming back, Phaedra mused, is like putting a match to gasoline. You know it's gonna be explosive, you just don't know who's gonna get burned first. She let out a soft chuckle, fully aware that in the world of RHOA, no one was truly safe from the fallout of a drama bomb. Kim's departure from the show had left a significant void. Love her or hate her, she was a force to be reckoned with. She had a way of making everything about her, whether it was her chaotic love life, her extravagant wigs, or her infamous catchphrases that still echoed in the minds of fans. And then there were the feuds, endless fiery feuds, that kept viewers glued to their screens. But behind the scenes, the real story was the web of relationships that had been torn apart or stitched together, sometimes clumsily in the wake of her antics. Phaedra knew better than anyone that Kim's return was not just about nostalgia. It was about ratings, reinvention, and the chance to reclaim a throne that had been vacated but never forgotten. "She's a smart cookie," Phaedra acknowledged. "Kim knows that this show is where she made her mark, and honey, she's not about to let that fade away." The cast had changed since Kim last held court on the RHOA stage. New faces, new alliances, and new enemies had emerged. Phaedra herself had stepped away, only to return with the same air of mystery and calculated charm that made her a fan favorite. But Kim's return threatened to upend everything, because Kim was the kind of woman who thrived on chaos, and chaos was something the current cast might not be fully prepared for. Phaedra couldn't help but wonder how Kim would mesh with the new dynamic. "She's been gone a while," Phaedra noted, "and things have changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is Kim's ability to stir the pot." It wasn't just about the drama, though. Kim's return also brought with it a sense of vulnerability. The last few years had not been easy for her. Financial troubles, a very public split, and the pressures of maintaining a facade of perfection had clearly taken their toll. Phaedra, ever the observer, saw through the bravado. "Kim's always been a survivor," she said softly. "But I think this time around she's got a lot more to prove, and maybe, just maybe, a lot more to lose." Phaedra's own return to RHOA had been met with mixed reactions. Some welcomed her back with open arms, eager for the shade and the sass she was known for. Others were more cautious, remembering the explosive nature of her exit and the fallout that had ensued. But Phaedra had learned to navigate these waters with grace, never letting anyone see her sweat. She knew that Kim would have to do the same. "You can't come back to this show and expect things to be the same," Phaedra remarked. "You have to be ready to fight for your place at the table, and honey, that table is crowded." As she sipped her tea, Phaedra couldn't help but feel a pang of excitement. Kim's return meant that the old dynamics would inevitably resurface, but it also meant new opportunities for alliances and betrayals. "It's like a game of chess," Phaedra said, her eyes twinkling with anticipation. "You have to be 3 steps ahead at all times, and trust me, I'm always thinking 3 steps ahead." She knew that some of the current cast members might underestimate Kim, viewing her as a relic of a bygone era, but Phaedra knew better. Kim was a fighter, and she would come back swinging, determined to reclaim her spot in the RHOA pantheon. "They'd be foolish to write her off," Phaedra warned. "Kim's got more tricks up her sleeve than a magician." But Phaedra also knew that this return was about more than just the drama. It was about redemption, reinvention, and proving that no matter how many times life knocked you down, you could always get back up, preferably with a new wig and a killer one-liner. At the end of the day, Phaedra concluded, we're all just trying to write our own stories, and Kim's story is far from over. I'm just glad I get to watch the next chapter unfold, because you know it's gonna be a page-turner. With a final sip of tea, Phaedra leaned back and smiled, ready for whatever the next season of RHOA would bring. One thing was certain, with Kim Zolciak back in the mix, it was going to be a wild ride, and Phaedra, ever the strategist, was more than ready to play her part in the drama that was sure to ensue. After all, in the world of RHOA, the only constant was change, and the only guarantee was that things were about to get a whole lot more interesting.